What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You know what time it is. Episode 63 up in the mix. Let's get it. Before we get started, we got a special guest, Nicola, from actually over on the Ethereum blockchain. But you know what time it is. If you got yourself an Android and or an iPhone, do yourself a favor, download the FTX app. Stay up to date with the latest cryptocurrencies and NFTs. Without further ado, I'm your host, Gaddis TV. What's going on, y'all? And yeah, let's get to it. All right, and we are live and direct. So first off, say Nick because I don't want to mispronounce the name and everything. I want to say thank you for coming on, taking some time out of your regular workday, and just sharing a little bit about yourself. So thank you for that.
Hey, so hello everyone. My name is Nikola Angelkowski. I'm a visual effects artist working from Macedonia almost 7 years now. Some of the projects that I've worked on are Alien Covenant, Spider-Man Homecoming, Passengers, Witcher Season 2, and many more projects. And currently working on side projects as director on short films for the NFT market.
Nice. So with the little I guess quick background on that one. Have you always been, I guess, the artist? Always had that artist mindset. I guess how long have you been doing art in general?
Well, honestly, I wasn't like too much into the art world like professionally. I was just a hobbyist, but I was studying to be a transport agent back in 2016, so I decided to drop out of college for that. And I was kind of trying to figure out like what's the profession that I wanted to do, and I was always drawn into art, even though I considered that to be my hobby. So I was kind of looking into a profession for that, and I stumbled into the visual effects industry. So with my last money and doing side hustles, working as a construction worker and as a barista, kind of was gathering funds to kind of pursue my career path. So here I am.
Nice. Um, for I guess for the the crypto world on that one. When did you first get introduced in crypto in general? It doesn't matter if it was with the art on that one. When did you first I guess get introduced in crypto?
Oof. Well, I kind of started looking into crypto like back in 2017, I guess, somewhere around that time. For me, it was like very alien thing to kind of understand and to grasp the knowledge of trying to understand like what NFT is and how it functions and the whole deal of transferring my tokenized or sorry, a non-fungible token of my artwork. But even though I still own it, so it kind of it was confusing to me at that time, you know. So I kind of started looking more into it and trying to figure out the platforms and how everything does. I was talking with a lot of people who were early adopters to that platform, and I was still having hard time to kind of understand it because it was like very new to me to understand like how that thing functions. So after a while, actually last year, I kind of decided, well, okay, now it's time for me to jump into the NFT world. So that's when I started. It was back in August, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
So I started back in August. So I dropped like three NFTs now, two collections. The first NFT actually sold pretty well and it was pretty fast. So right now I have one short film, which me and the team made. And the other project is keyframe concept art for one of the other projects that we're currently developing, which is going to be an NFT TV show that we're planning to do on the Foundation platform.
Nice. And I guess a good little transition with the foundation because basically a lot of the podcasts and episodes we found here is all people on Solana on that blockchain. What is I guess foundation? Just a quick synopsis of that. It's on Ethereum, I guess, correct? Or
Yeah.
where can people find your work on that? What is a foundation?
Well, well, Foundation app is same listing site as like OpenSea. Even though like the platform only approves people who are getting invited by people who are already on that platform, so it's really hard to get into that one. It primarily functions on the Ethereum blockchain, so it's kind of has this very niche type of artists who are, I should guess, like primarily professionals in the industry, I should say. So like that's the type of artist you would normally get into Foundation, pretty much.
That is, I guess, is that how you heard about it? Was it like through a friend or honestly googling it? How did you hear about it? What decided
Well,
to go there?
Well, actually, I was kind of listening to other podcasts of people who were joining like the other platforms, and I was talking with a lot of my colleagues who work in the visual effects industry. So we were kind of discussing of if we were going to jump on well any platform, what would it be? So a lot of people told me like, listen, you either go to Super Rare or Foundation because like people who are working in this industry as you, primarily they gravitate towards those two. So I would highly suggest you to go there. So that's how it started. I noticed that one of my friends, Sarah, who was already on the platform, I just asked her, "Hey, by any chance do you have any like invites left?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, sure. Like I didn't know you were not yet on the platform." So it's like, yeah. So that's
Nice.
how it started.
And I think you said it before as well. I guess did you make your own first NFT that you sold, or you made the
Yeah.
NFT for I guess another project? Was it your own or a project?
No, it was my own personal NFT, the
Nice.
first one that I've sold, and the second project that I'm working on right now, and the third, which is already listed on Foundation, are a group project that me and my team made. So one was the short film that we made, which is already, if you go to my Foundation website, you can already watch the short film there. And the other one is Keyframe Concept Art, which is for the said LMT TV show that we're trying to develop.
Nice. I guess you as an artist, visual effects. Did you ever, I guess, see yourself in this space prior to I think you said it was the August part of it, or I guess when you first heard about like crypto and stuff, was that kind of the well, you said it's 2017, so I guess when you
Yeah.
first listened to that, did you ever see yourself having your work on like the platform stuff like that, or what was that experience when like you sold your first actual NFT? Like,
Well,
how
to
was
be
that
honest,
feeling?
like back in 2017, I gotta be honest, I was very, very skeptical about NFT. I mean, as much as people that I know who are from the art world or who come from the visual effects world, like there, even till this day, there are a lot of skeptics about the NFT and how it functions, and a lot of them think it's a huge scam. But I kind of wanted to give it a shot just out of my own curiosity. I mean, on one side, I was really happy that I sold my NFT, but on the other side, on the other hand, I was like to my peers, like who didn't believe in the platform. I was like, "Hey guys, like listen, I've tried it, I've sold it, and it actually works. Like, listen to me." So that was a
It's
really
real.
positive experience. Yeah.
Nice. And I think you said as well. I guess I think you said it was Sarah. I might have
Yeah.
mispronounced the name.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess with those contacts, things like that, or was that everyone you I guess kind of just found through, I guess the previous art that you've done, or I guess were these
Well,
people like you found on Twitter, stuff like that?
Well, me and Sarah actually are from the same country, which is
Oh,
Macedonia, and we live in the same town, so we know pretty much each other for
nice.
like a few years now. So she's an artist like working in the game industry as well. So we kind of knew each other before that, and I didn't know that she was on the platform. But our mutual friend, when we were talking about NFTs, and I told him like, "Hey, I'm actually thinking about joining the platform." And back then, I remember I was thinking, well, if I don't have any foundation invite, I was just going to go on OpenSea. And he was like, "Wait, dude, like, haven't you talked to Sarah? She already is on the platform." So after that day, I talked with her over Instagram, and she was like, "Oh yeah, definitely, like join in. I didn't know you were on the platform." I was like, "Shit, okay, thanks."
That's awesome. With the I guess with the work that you do, it's all like I guess visual effects. Is that what is that like stuff like I think Blender is one of the programs. What type of programs like do you use? Just because one, I don't do any of this stuff. I mess around a little bit with the Adobe Premiere, After Effects, a little bit on that one. How how long do these things take? Like what do you use to I
Well,
guess to create it?
primarily my profession in the visual effects industry is called matte painter, which is doing digital 2D and 3D backgrounds for movies, games, and cinematics for trailers. So
Nice.
primarily for my profession, we use Maya, Blender, Photoshop, Substance Painter, Mari, stuff like that. But throughout my experience, I wasn't just working as this profession. I was also working as a layout artist. I was working as a concept artist. I was working as Roto Paint. I was doing 3D modeling, hard surface, and stuff like that. So throughout my career, I kind of ended up learning a lot of software. So in my roster, like currently, I have like I believe 8 or 7 programs, including Houdini, SpeedTree, Maya, Max. Like I had, it's a
You
lot.
got
Like
that knowledge, damn son.
yeah, yeah.
I like it. Shoot, with I guess when did you want to go into like the visual effects that way? Just as a person that were you always I guess what made it click to like did you see something on TV you're like damn I want to make that or did you ever have like a vision and you were like yo I want to make this happen? What what made that passion real? I guess what was that clicking point?
Well, actually, to be honest, like at first I wanted to do cartoons. I mean, I grew up with Dragon Ball and Digimon and Pokemon. Like I was that type of kid. Like usually, if I go through my old sketchbook, you will usually find drawings of like Dragon Ball and Vegeta and stuff like that.
Hell yeah.
And and then like I kind of through the years as I matured, I kind of started to watch more sci-fi movies. I gravitated towards more to Alien rather than Star Wars. So I was kind of more into that grimy, dark stuff and one day as I was in college, like I was trying to find any videos of how did they make these movies, so I stumbled upon a video of kind of like history and explanation of how they did to shoot the movie and how was done the visual effects were done. I was like, oh, this is actually interesting. But when I talked to a lot of people, they were like, yeah, in Macedonia, I mean, there are a few studios here, but the one thing that you wanted to do, it's like it doesn't exist here. Like, don't push your luck. So I was like, okay, challenge accepted. Like, just give
Yeah.
me a try. Yeah.
Nice. Shoot, I'm trying to think. Macedonia. I think that's
Eastern Europe.
well, the one. I'm pretty sure it's beautiful because I mean I don't really snowboard ski too much, but I'm pretty sure there was a Red Bull thing I was thinking of, and I wish I remember exactly, but I don't know. One it looks super cold. I'm pretty damn sure because I'm down in I guess Florida where there's no snow here, but it looks fucking amazing where it's over there. So I
Yeah.
guess kind of like you said there, if there's not too many I guess places to I guess I forgot the exact word you just said, but the shops or
Visual effects. Yeah.
um,
Studios.
the studios. There we go.
Yeah.
Where I guess realistically, do you have to kind of have that equipment already or the knowledge to do it, or for someone who might listen to this, doesn't matter if it's a week, 2 weeks, tomorrow, a year, and they're like, you know what, I want to try getting into this realm. What advice would you give like that person?
Oof. Well, honestly, like every single person that I've taught previously, I've told them the same thing. No matter what profession you choose to do, always focus on the pillar of knowledge for art, which is composition, light, form, and perspective. Once you master all of those things, like you can easily transition that knowledge to any software, whether it's 2D or 3D. So start understanding the theory behind it, not just start drawing, but understand the theory and how everything functions in real life and how you can transition that to your work. After that, you kind of decide like what you gravitate towards. I mean, I firstly gravitated more towards 2D, but I switched my career towards 3D. So that's a personal experience that you'll experience as well. I mean, a lot of concept artists today are using more and more 3D rather than just using 2D back like it was back in the day. So the industry is ever changing, so you kind of have to adapt to that. You gotta be ready for that.
For I guess why do you think a lot of people are going from the 2D to the 3D? Is it I'm sure the 3D probably takes more time, but can you I guess create exactly like what you're thinking? Is that reason why or is it just 2D art is just old school? Like what's the reason behind it
It,
as an
it's not
artist?
that it's not that it's old school. The main reason being is that a lot of film directors want their work or other concept, I should say, should look more towards the realistic side of things. They want to see the concept nowadays, like how it will look like as if it was a final shot in the film or a TV show. So using 3D kind of helps kind of achieve that realism because you have already perfect one-to-one lighting for each object that you add to the scene. So it kind of quote unquote it makes it easier, but at the same time it looks more realistic in a sense. So like it's a kind of mixture between 2D and 3D. Like even though you still use 3D, you have to overpaint on top of it to kind of use photo textures, to photo bash, to kind of bring it more like to into the realism, you know?
No, no, 100%. With I guess you're trying to think with the you said I'm trying to think before you did a lot of the stuff. All I can honestly think is Witcher.
Yeah.
Granted, you're probably gonna hate me. I haven't seen like too much of that
All
or
right.
the game. My buddy and his honestly girlfriend loves it to death. Um, I guess how. How did you overall get honestly like jobs like that? Was it like you said all before crypto, just busting out, grinding to work, you're talented and things like that? Like how do those things come apply? Do you just like go on Google apply for visual effects or how do those things come about?
Well, usually a lot of people in my industry, my own personal experience is that everyone who wants to join this industry kind of has to have a show reel to kind of demonstrate the knowledge of the basic things, especially if you're a junior. But if you're a senior, you kind of have to explain to them the previous work experience and some of the projects that you have worked on. So the job that I landed working on The Witcher was in a studio called Platish Image. I got hired there from one of the recruiters through LinkedIn. So after like two interviews, like I got invited into the studio. So I started working there on a few Call of Duty trailers, for Black Ops and Cold War. So I worked on that Warzone trailers from season 3 until the end, and currently working on Vanguard. But in between that, I got invited by the team to work on The Witcher season 2, and yeah, pretty much was history. Yeah, even though I'm still doing like visual effects on one side and doing NFTs at the same time. I mean, for me personally, NFTs is kind of like a passive income, I should say. Like it kind of helps
Hmm.
not just me, but also the team that I'm working with, to kind of generate like additional funds that could help us, let's say, put money in our pockets or maybe buy the gear that we need for the short films that we want to develop, or I don't know, stuff like that. Endless opportunity.
100%. Two questions on that one. When you're working like with I guess like the Call of Duties or the Witcher stuff like that, um, I guess did you have stuff like where you can't like tell your friends, family, things like that? It's like say if you're a Call of Duty fan and you're like you personally, and then you're starting to work on it, like can you tell people? Can you not tell people? Is it one of those
No.
keep it quiet until it's done?
No, actually, that's like one of the things about the visual effects industry. Like, you're not allowed to talk about anything related to those
Oh,
projects because, like, they want to keep it a secret.
makes
So
sense.
until the project is fully out, you cannot say anything. Like for The Witcher, I had to keep my mouth shut for a year or something like that. And once the credits
Dang.
rolled, I was like, okay, yeah, I actually worked on this project.
Pause it here. Yeah.
Actually, that's what happened,
That's what I
pretty
would
much.
do. Shoot, I'll be real. I'm like, yo, you see that name? Yo, what's up?
That actually happened. Like the day the credits rolled, I was like immediately like took a screenshot on Instagram and was like, okay, I'm coming to your house. Let's watch it.
That's fucking sick, bro. Congrats on that one. With I guess with artists, again, doesn't matter if it's visual effects or I guess paintings or just drawing stuff like that. You kind of said it before, where I guess y'all or the project you're working with can have the NFTs haven't sold and have gear for projects and just money for those type of things. Um, I guess I remember when I first started getting NFTs, I just thought it was pictures flipping. I didn't really understand the some of the utility behind that. Um, do you think I guess some of the and maybe they already are, but do you think some of the companies like the maybe not exactly Call of Duties, but like the bigger companies are going to be seeing that and trying to do it like that, or do you think it's going to be something where, of course, they're going to be doing that, but more like you said, indie games, or let's say a person with a YouTube following, or say you're skilled enough to maybe not code, but make some of the stuff and be like, hey, I got my own vision. Where do you see that in the next, I guess, couple years? Do you think it's going to be the same game, same kind of, I guess, companies still in the regular world to the crypto world, or do you think it's going to be, of course, some of those people still there, but are you going to be new people in there?
Well, I think currently for the bigger studios, they have a lot of audiences who are not the bigger fans of the NFT world, especially I don't know if you saw what happened with Rainbow Six Siege when they announced that they wanted to do NFTs for their skins. So there was a huge backlash throughout the people who play the game. So I think that bigger studios are just going to withhold for now, but it's not going to be for long until they jump into the platform and kind of see the bigger opportunity that lies here. I mean, a lot of people that I've talked to who are currently developing their smaller games or indie games, I should say, they all have Web3 in the back of their minds. Like they're already thinking like how we can use this opportunity to either get more funds and at the same time bring something back to our players. So it's a both win-win situation rather than just the classical old way where you just buy a game and that's where your transaction ends.
Yeah, I think that's something that'll be cool for the future, just in the sense of when companies do stuff like that? Because I know, granted, Steam, like they don't have any of the NFTs, but it was the same thing. It's like the Fortnite to buying skins, X, Y, and Z. It's the same concept in a different way. Um, with the, I don't know if you can see it on the screen. I got I guess a picture. It's like tornado. You got the boat in the desert. Like, is this something you've done yourself,
Yeah.
or what is this?
Well,
Explain.
this was actually a personal work that I'm kind of like to go back to like doing to this stuff when I'm kind of trying to relax after work. I'm that type of guy like who relaxes with work after work. So this was something that I wanted to do in my free time. This was actually drawn when Monster Hunter movie arrived. I don't know
Hmm.
if you watched that one. Yeah, so I was kind of inspired by one of the scenes from that movie. I was like, well, actually, I'm kind of interested to kind of draw something like this. So everything here except for the boat on the left side, everything else is 2D. So I was using like traditional mediums here, like painting with brushes and everything like that, and then merging the 3D element with the 2D background that I've created to kind of merge those two elements into one, including like the colors and the depth and everything like that. So yeah, this was like a really like interesting personal piece to do for me.
No, I like it because, like you said, like these, you can't tell. I guess it looks well. It's not just like copy paste. Like, oh, it looks like ish. You know
Thank
what I
you.
mean? Questions. So stuff like this is it done on, I guess, like the iPad, or you get like the Mac, or like with the pen, or are you straight mousing it up and like you listen, I'm a pro. How do you do that stuff?
Well, I have a screen tablet I'm working on the Pen and using Photoshop. So that's my primarily tools that I use. In studios, I use like Maya and stuff like that, and the other softwares and you can as well. But at home, I'm primarily using Blender. Reason being is that the software is free, but for Maya and the other softwares, I have to pay a hefty amount of money for the licenses, which is, to me, in my opinion, like those softwares should be a bit cheaper than they are currently. But hey, like I cannot control that. So Blender exists. So I'm primarily using Blender for my personal work.
Heard that. And I know some people. Actually, I don't know if Blender is honestly in the VR, but have you ever done like the VR stuff where you put in and like make artwork that way, or is that not your really
Uh,
thing?
I've I've never actually tried VR. Reason being is that I'm wearing glasses, and I've tried VR previously, not for doing art, but for gaming, and I noticed that it's causing me a lot of nausea when I'm
Mm.
doing stuff like that. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I want to try it personally, but it's really heavy for my eyes, so I just kind of stay away from it.
Nah, for sure, for sure. We don't want to be no, 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 like, oh,
Yeah,
bro, chill,
exactly.
dog, chill. Um,
Exactly.
so I guess a little bit more kind of about the. You said you're working on a project as of now, like now, or like what I guess what are you working on now? I don't want to, I guess, just talk about like past stuff, like for people that
Yeah.
are listening. Hopefully, doesn't matter if it's Solana, Ethereum, and whatnot. What are you working on?
Well, currently, we finished the short film that we have on our NFT platform that we're using. So right now, yeah, that one. So right now, in the meantime, while we're waiting for this, we're kind of developing concepts and developing the storyline for the short film, for sorry, the TV show that we're trying to do, which is we're primarily trying to do like 5 episodes, which each episode is going to be different from each other, you know. So we're trying to kind of develop the scripts for that, develop the concept storyboard, like to kind of get the idea going. And one of the ways that we're kind of trying to gather the funding for our gear is through selling our previous short film that we've made, which is you currently see here. So selling this NFT is gonna help us like a lot getting that gear that we need for motion capture and cameras and stuff like that, you know. And we also have to pay a lot of people who want to be stuntmen, you know, so we have to also pay for a medic to be on spot for that thing, which is like it's a chain of expenses that we have to do in order to achieve the goal that we wanted, you know. So we kind of try to up our game in the quality that we did here for this short film.
Nice. So are these, I guess, real people in there? Or is this all like visual effects? I guess walk me through on that one with the medic, and then because I know you were saying the scripts. If those are not real people, are y'all coding it, or do you have like the stuff when you put people like the like face mask on and they're
Yeah,
talking? Okay,
yeah,
that's
we're
fucking sweet.
we're getting so motion capture is like putting on a suit with markers on their faces. So each of that data throughout the human body is transitioned to a computer as a code, and we can then use that information to transition it onto a 3D model of a character, which each movement that the human does, it can easily be translated to the movement of a 3D model, you know? So we're kind of gathering the funds to buy that equipment because we already have a hangar that we are renting out. Oh, sorry, not renting out, but renting. So we kind of have to get all of the gear needed. You know, we need to have the protection gear, the ropes, and everything like that before we start to do anything. Because personally, I wouldn't risk the life of my actors, you know, and the team in case anything happens, like fire and stuff like that. You cannot control those things, so you always have to pay additional money to have like medics on spot and stuff like that.
Oh, 100%, man. Insurance, like, just excluding the crypto stuff. You know,
Yeah,
when someone get
yeah,
hurt and like, oh, bro, I broke my pinky, I'm suing you. But, bro, it was broken
yeah,
before. Like, what
exactly,
the hell are you talking
exactly.
about? Um, with, I guess with the, like the movie on that one, how many people are behind, I guess, y'all's team? Like core members, not exactly just, hey, you got us, let me stand here, make sure it doesn't fall on someone. Like, how many core members are on yours / y'all's team?
Well, currently we're 11 people, but we're trying to gather more people to join into the project that we're doing. For now, there's less and less people who are interested in doing this stuff because, as I said, like a lot of people that I know are still skeptic about the NFT world. So at the moment, we're trying to do things by ourselves. So the previous short film, actually, everything that you see here, I've done it myself, like the whole visual effects, rendering, lighting, animation, like I've done it all by myself here. Normally I had to buy some 3D assets that I later had to tweak and change so they don't look like they're off or not belonging to the world that I've created, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So right now what I'm trying to do is after we sell this NFT, we're gonna have to pay freelancers who wanna treat this project as a day-to-day job, you know, like pay by the hourly or maybe weekly to kind of do the job. So then we can use that work to kind of sell it on the NFT platforms.
Nice. If I guess if people are, listening and they're interested on maybe trying to help, what is the best way to get in contact? I guess with y'all. Is it just on Twitter? Or I guess the foundation. Where can people get in contact?
Well, you can directly contact me on my Twitter. If I don't respond there, like in my bio, you can see my Instagram because like primarily you can contact me there as well. So yeah.
Heard that. Um, and I guess just kind of separate question on actually two parts on this one. Because again, I'm not the hugest. I don't code anything like that. Like I get art, everything in that nature of it. It might be different from honestly Ethereum to Solana, but with like that short film, I guess with that being on, that's on the actual like the blockchain.
Mhm.
Is there, I guess, certain things that you can or cannot do like on y'all's thing? Because I know like the render and everything. I was just thinking when you were saying that, I'm thinking you probably have a beast of a computer, or at your
Yeah.
work you got a beast of a computer, and it's just rendering for 4 hours, 5 hours, depending like what it is. Um, are there certain like I guess file sizes that can or cannot be
Yes.
done what y'all are doing, and then how did y'all figure that out?
Well, I've been dealing with files and stuff like that because I've been working on different projects in studio. So for me to kind of understand the file size and uploads and quality that I need to upload for the NFT platforms was easy for me to understand. So
Nice.
the only problem that I saw when trying to mint my first NFT or the short film was that I kind of saw the issue with the compression. So for me to kind of figure out a way on how to fix this was actually to kind of render out the film in 4K and then compress it to 2K so it doesn't lose the amount of
Mm-hmm.
quality, you know? So that way you kind of retain the sharpness of the image and at the same time you kind of lower the file size of the project. So yeah, that was the
Nice.
main problem that we kind of foresee there.
Exactly, because I know with like as far as I know, like everything it does the compression from Twitter to Instagram, YouTube, stuff like that. So I was just thinking, because like everything's crispy, you know what I mean? Because I've done it back in the day when I load something up, and I'm like, I swear it looks a lot better on the phone. Like, hold on, bro. Um, so no, that's honestly that's pretty cool, and I like the detail and everything that I guess y'all have and do like the attention to detail. The little things make the big picture. So shout out to you on that one.
Thank you.
With I guess the last couple ones, because we're just now at the 30-minute mark. Projects that maybe want to not use you, but like use you, your skills, stuff like that. Are there certain things I guess that you would or wouldn't do? How can people get in contact with you? And two, are you still doing like that when if say I'm starting a project, I'm like, yo, you got some dope work, I want to do it. Are you focusing realistically right now on y'all stuff you got going on, or can people hit you up and get in contact with you? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, currently, what we're trying to do is gather the funding first because before we jump anything more serious, that's the main issue here because a lot of people will, after hearing stuff that we do, are kind of interested to say, like, hey, we actually have an idea that we want to develop with you guys. And we're like, yeah, thank you for that, but we actually need to get the gear first before we can do anything more serious, because it's a testament to our skills. Currently the previous short film, like it took me like 3 months to animate by myself. Imagine like if somebody has a more grandiose idea that he wants me to animate, like that's gonna take me a year, which I already work at a full-time studio. So, as I said, like buying the gear that we need by selling our current NFTs is going to help us to buy the motion capture gear, which should make it much, much easier for me to animate the stuff. It's just going to be easier. So once we have all of that gear, then it could be much easier for us to contact or be collaborating with other different artists who want to do stuff like this, or maybe they have a music video and they want to have like like a music video for their music. So there's a lot of opportunities after that. But for now, what we're trying to do is just like gather the funding that we need, set up the gear, and test it out first before we do anything serious. And after that, it's blue sky.
100%. I guess kind of last question on that one. As just like you said, you're working a full time job. Say different artists are working, full time jobs. Doesn't matter on what it is. I guess personally, and don't I guess answer if you're gonna get in trouble with your job. Do you think jobs, I guess, will feel threatened overall if you're trying to do your own thing? 'Cause I know you're not like competing stuff like that, but me, I'm the overthinker, me personally. So I'm always thinking, hey, if you're trying to do your own thing, why? Do you think that's a bad thing? Do you think that's something an artist has to think of on that one, or am I just overthinking everything?
Well, no, actually, that's not a huge problem because studios will always like to look at your personal work first. Primarily, I got hired because of my personal creativity. Because if you want to work in visual effects and you want to work on a specific TV show, the director wants to see your personal work to kind of see if you gravitate towards the visual style that the film or the game they want to develop. So, personal work is always welcomed. As long as when you work in a studio and you don't do something that's very similar to the current IP that you're as a team working, you won't get into any legal problems. But if you're doing things out of your own personal creativity and you wanted to show something that's outside of the IP that you're working at work, you're totally fine.
Hey, that makes sense. I guess last question in general then, is there anything, I guess we haven't really talked about that you've kind of wanted to either let people know about or something that you're hype on? Anything that we've kind of missed in the short period of time of talking?
Well, for now, what we're trying to do, as I said, was try to sell the current NFTs to gather the gear for getting to setting up the motion capture studio. But after that, once we sell the that project, my team is going to be open for people who want to, let's say, get into the foot in visual effects industry or maybe doing music, using voiceovers and stuff like that. So with that project, I'm also trying to give an opportunity for a lot of people who kind of want to experience what it's like to work in a visual effects like industry, to kind of give them like the knowledge or maybe introduce them into the team and kind of help us out throughout the projects. So that's what we're trying to do right now.
Nice. No, I think that's awesome, man. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up then, kind of like how I did it in the beginning. Kind of go mute for a quick second. But I want to say thank you for taking some time out of your evening after you're off of work and honestly talking with me. So, man, I appreciate that. I guess the last one, where can people find you at again on your Twitter handle? Shout out all where people can find you.
Yeah, they can find me on Twitter, Instagram. Once you go to my Twitter profile, if you're there right now, you can see all of the links to my personal Instagram. So you can contact me through Twitter, Instagram, ArtStation, or Foundation.
Awesome. On that note, give me a quick second. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But again, bro, I appreciate you for coming on and stick around for a quick second, all right?
Thank you.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know what time it is. That is it. Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, episode 63 in the mix. If you're not already, go ahead and follow ThugBirdz Pod, and ThugDAO. Till next time, y'all, stay fresh, stay clean, stay positive. And as always, y'all, caw-caw!